Compromising. How far do we take it? Do we only compromise with our friends? Do we only compromise with things that serve us? Do we compromise with all things or nothing at all? What keeps us in our purpose without falling short of our identity for the sake of being there for others? At what point, do you decipher where you stand in those relationships? Compromising. You should only do it as far as the other person's willing to compromise. And what's interesting is that not everyone sees compromise as compromise, because a pinch of anything they don't want to do is not good enough for them. Next suggestion: when you heard, what they wanted and you compromised, so sometimes I think it's important for us to take note who's trying to see the compromise and who's only hearing, what they want to hear. Because it causes an emotional disturbance to the person who's trying to compromise with individuals that do not want to compromise. They want their way. So one has to ask themselves, okay, do I remove myself from this situation? Whenever this energy presents itself, or is this a bond I don't need to keep investing in if this person can't see that the compromising aspect? Or do I wait for them to wake up to seeing the importance of compromise if the discussion was already had, but maybe perhaps they're not trying to see what you see as an individual for? It kind of makes it so that what they want to a degree doesn't fully happen. And some people are more concerned about their, what they want fully happening, opposed to compromising with another individual who's also sharing this world and moment with that individual. So it lends itself to people pleasing on the behalf of the individual who gets their compromise dismissed for what others around them want. Okay, so this is something that, personally has been occurring for me, but I see it occurs for multiple individuals. And it's like, when you are set in your way, what do you do when someone doesn't want to compromise, but you're willing to compromise? Now, if you say, never mind, now you seem like you're the dick, or you're the person that's not willing to compromise when you suggested something that would be compromisable, but it's not what the individuals around you wanted to compromise on. So in those moments, what does one do? Does one isolate themselves and just, realize, okay, the day is not aligned for me with these individuals? Or is this an indication that, maybe I'm not supposed to make myself so accessible to certain individuals who can't, process the fact that compromise is important, or what I try to suggest is a compromise. And, sometimes if the alignment is we both want to do things completely different, then that has to be accepted on both parties. There shouldn't be, well, let's pick which one because I really want to see you hang out with you. Because now what it's seeming like, it's like someone wants a teddy bear in the activity they personally want to do if the compromise is not there. And, I am no one's teddy bear, and no one needs to be my teddy bear. So that's what's very important, to communicate and open up about, compromise or not. But with those communication also comes with, a little, back and forth, right? Because someone may not like it or try to tell you that's not what they're trying to tell you because they don't want to be told no, right? So that's something also to look at. Sometimes, you don't need to pick up the phone because picking up the phone lends itself to, kind of being persuaded into a outcome that perhaps you really, really didn't want. And, if you're someone who's empathetic, this is going to be a big factor in your life that keeps occurring. Because when you're empathetic, you'll set aside what you want for what others want. So in a weird way, yeah, you could say no, but your emotional state will almost merge with theirs to the point that you will feel forcefully to say yes, although no one's forcing you to say yes. Emotionally, you're disturbed and distressed when being an empath and someone's putting that sort of disappointing energy towards you. You can feel like, it feels a little heavier when you're empath, like it feels maximized. They're slightly disappointed, but you're feeling like this immense disappointment and that you may not be a good friend. They may feel that in the moment, and now you're like receiving that emotional state, and now you're believing it, so now you want to do something to counter that belief. It's just, a lot goes on being an empath. So sometimes you just have to not answer that phone call and get back to certain people, at a later time, because they're not going to even be respectful with your communication and what you suggest, because they're going to be so pushy as to what they want to do with you and their time. Because yes, they love you, but is that good enough, right? Because you love being with me, but are you really loving me to the point you can respect what it is that I'm trying to do for myself? That's the big question here, because yes, not everyone has to do what what the other person wants to do, but why is there a lack of understanding pertaining to compromise? Why are people only wanting to hear that the fact that you kind of said no, right? Like people are just want to hear yes or no. And there's no efforts to hear what else is said, and there's no need to be present for, that exchange. No matter how much love is presented, right? Because now what's truly threatened is self-love. And what we're not doing is putting others before ourselves, because being an empath, that's all we've done. Like our whole lives, and it's like enough, I am logging off of that wave. I'm not going to be doing that any further. And I will be letting people know what it is, because I'm really coming to terms with the fact that, well, if no one wants to, do what I want to do, then solo dolo. At first I used to be scared of it, oh, but I need some company. Now I'm realizing company comes with a bit of a price. You can't fully do what you want to do at every second. And even when you try to compromise, some people will just, have it their way for real, And so it's starting to show me, the essence of living is living for yourself while, having a balance and considering and, compromising with others. I was over-compromising. I wasn't even choosing what I wanted to do a lot of the times. Or most times till this day, when I am in a group setting or with another friend, I tend to merge that way. I have Venus in Pisces, for those of you that know about astrology, but those of you that don't, it's okay. Just, dismiss that little factor there. But, sometimes when you are full of love, you can feel guilty to give it to yourself because of what other people will make you feel when you do so. And it's not even in front of your face. It's like the atmosphere, the aura, the frequency within the air starts to like give you this information in a weird way when you're an empath that others are upset or disappointed or not happy or just upset because you're not doing what they want, or maybe you're not being a good friend in their eyes, and maybe you may hold what they're saying or energetically giving off to you a little bit more, personal than you need to. And I think that's something that most empaths have to take note of. How much do you compromise before it's not okay? You know what I mean? Because I think we will compromise till there's none of us, till there's nothing left of us, right? So something to think about, you know. But I hope this video finds you guys well and give you guys something to think about when it comes to compromising with your friends and how important it is, because if you don't, eventually, you know, the people that you have around you won't be there and you'll have a lack of understanding as to why. And, you know, conversations can't be one-sided. It can't be all about one person and what they're going through. If there's not a moment that you take to kind of think about the other person that's listening, do not be shocked, you know, when the ears go away and you don't have ears available to you because you weren't ears back. You get what you receive. You receive what you give. Right? Is that what the saying is? Yep. You get what you give. No, yeah, you get what you give. That's what the saying is. You get what you give. So if someone's giving no ears, after a while, someone who's giving ears going to shut off their ears, which is, you know, and then that person who wasn't giving ears won't know how to process what's going on, what's wrong. And it's because things are feeling one-sided, you know. So something to think about for all the empaths out there. My name is Gawd. This is Gawd Cafe. And until next time.